Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks podcast. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauber.
It's into the fantasy corner we go. Nobody puts this in the corner.
It's just a fantasy.
Yeah, this is just fantasy. We obviously have quite a bit to discuss in terms of some finals and final results and all that good stuff. I'm popping one of these.
I am out of beer in my hotel room.
That's what happens. Yeah, Ben's on another planet, also known as Syracuse.
Yeah. I've been in a couple of foreign countries this week. I was in Canada and now I'm in Syracuse.
Now you're in upstate New York, which is also a foreign country in itself.
Oh man, the people are special here.
Yeah, having just visited Buffalo, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Anyway.
That is an accurate statement. You are also special, aren't you? Let's dig into Super Brew and Champions Cup first. First and foremost, Duncan, again, well done, sir.
Yeah, really well done.
What is he? Top? He's like 2 in the world, isn't he? Or something like that?
Something stupid. Yep. Second in the world.
Considering that a bunch of us are like top 50 or top 100.
I'm 71.
And that's not that shocking.
I came in 5th in the Fantasy Rugby Yanks, and I'm 71 overall.
Yeah, George. So we had 2 in the top 5. Duncan was 2 and George was 5.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Well done, boys.
You and I were 2 and 3 in the US.
Right. So, yeah. I still don't know who this other person is.
Yeah,
but yeah. So George was second. Mark was third. Myself was fourth. Ben was fifth. Anton 6th. Carrick 6th, and Justin pulling up the rear with a wooden spoon in 7th or 8th. Excuse me. I know numbers. I swear. So it was an interesting final outcome because it was like. Nobody that picked their captain this week, I think, felt good about it, honestly, and certainly in the end. There were a lot of people that went, is that who I really want? It's like, yep, so you really want. But at the same time, it didn't work
low.
that well. I did too.
That was.
What were we gonna do, honestly?
Yeah, I know.
Team of the round would have been Sclavi, who came off the bench, so you wouldn't pick him. Antonio. Boogery, I had an inkling to play, but honestly, I was never going to get away from Kelleher. It would have been a good contrarian play, and if you did that, good for you. Skelton, James Ryan, Gregory Aldred, Conan, and Ben DeFleur. That was a lot of people's back row.
Those were my back 5.
Yeah. I had Maloney instead of Ryan. That was the only difference.
Okay.
Bergeron, nobody would have picked him, honestly. No. I think everybody was picking Gibson Park.
Right, who had negative 0.5. Great job.
Yeah. Sexton.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
But Sexton made sense because he ended up knocking over all those penalties. So that obviously paid off. Henshaw and O'Brien, that was my midfield. That was all 9 points. Big deal.
Yeah.
Rule, I did not see that coming. So, your perfect week would have had him captain as well. The back 3 actually all came from La Rochelle in the team of the week.
Right.
Rule, Dulin, and Lades. All of them.
And I signed, Dulin. Dulin, I started. Lades, I didn't. He was on the bench.
Yeah. I had Rule. And he was the difference maker for a lot of people. Well done to the boys in T-Fry, and let's see who won the pod league. George. George and Fighting Spirit, is that Cobus? Yeah, well done, Cobus.
I was like, I knew it in front of the tip of my tongue.
Yep. So yeah, great job all around. This is fun. I mean, if this is the standard, I'm okay with it going forward. Although I hope FRD is back up and running for Champions Cup next year as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm okay with doing both next year.
Me too. This was good.
Both. Yeah,
I kind of want to do more Super Brew. I like it.
Yeah, well, I'm in the super for
soccer.
I'm in George's super.
Okay.
Super brew. Although I got off to a false start on that one. It was the first week, and I forgot to submit a lineup. But I'm not in last anymore, so that's the good news. There's somebody else that's dumber than me. Hooray! Or just maybe less lucky, but
or less paying attention, or
something to that degree. Speaking of Super Rugby, the Champi-Yanks FRD Super Final. I didn't even get 100, and Anton beat me well. So well done, Anton. That's his first trophy in FRD. So long overdue, I think. Long overdue.
I'm still bitter. You got his before mine.
Well, because you won the Six Nations League, so you might get a trophy out of that.
Fair.
So there you go. So maybe we got a couple guys that are going to get trophies that probably should have had one by now. Really, the difference maker for him, and he pointed out a couple sections, but in the end, it was Fergus Burke.
Yeah.
Just that 30 points, man. Woo. That was great. 29.2. That I'll give him credit. Ballsy as hell. Folau Fakatava off the bench against the Rebels. By hook or by crook, it was a damn good decision.
Right.
Really.
And Morby, hell, just kind of pulling that out of you.
Almost had a hat trick.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done, Anton. Beat me well, but we're the competitor in the Sacco bracket. Unfortunately, Carrick just lived up to the usual expectation of this comp for him.
Yeah.
And Mark didn't even have to try, I don't think. So
not really.
I believe Mark's going to get a point out of that, and Carrick, you're going to be left with that. I will total up the tally this coming weekend, and since I'll have a little bit of time now, thank you, God. And I will I'll get those results up, because then we'll just have one league left to determine, and that'll be it. Speaking of, let's do some start set.
Yes, let us do that. Do I start us off?
No, let me check one second.
I think I do.
Yeah, Northampton and Newcastle.
Yep. Saints Falcons. Okay, so the thing to consider this week is whether or not your team, each of these teams, have anything to play for, and what that means for their lineup. So for like a Newcastle Falcons, they're probably just going to rock the same lineup because it's just another match for them, and they don't have many guys who score points anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. You got your George McGuigans, you got your Sean Robinsons, and Van der Walt is still the question mark whether he's going to be worth and at this point you shouldn't invest in him, so don't sign him for this. But on the other side, the Saints have everything to play for. They have to make sure that they maintain, they have to assume here that Gloucester are going to win and go from there. Like, start with the worst possible outcome is, Gloucester getting the 5-point win, and say, okay, well, that means Northampton just have to win. So they're going to put out their players and they're going to roll. So your normal guys from the Saints.
Mitchell.
Although I'm not sure about Ribbons right now. That's the one guy
he's been banged up, so I'm not sure he's healthy. So there's that.
This might be a match where they might have to be like, can you go? Because we might need you. And they've had a little bit of rest. So look for him. Obviously Mitchell and Bigger and Hutchinson and Dingwall has been coming back. Slightholm if he plays, Freeman obviously, and Furbank has been pretty quality from fullback lately. So I think he and Freeman really feed off of each other. So that's something to watch out for too.
Nice. Give me all the Freeman.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen him on like people's breakout stars this year. I'm like, that there's him and someone else who I'm like, no. They were stars last year. Like we knew about Freeman last year. I don't think it's fair to call him a breakout this year, because this is not his first breakout year. That was the last year. This is his breakout year. This is his and it was him and Arundel was on it. And I'm like,
Arundel, we haven't seen that a lot.
That's too early.
I'll give him.
It's still too early though. He's played like 2 matches. I mean, granted, he's been excellent. I'm not taking that away, but it's like, let's give it to somebody who played all season.
Yeah, I'll agree on that one for sure.
Arundel can have his next year. It's like the opposite. Freeman played in a lot more matches last year than Arundel has this year. So if you have one on this year, you can't have both.
Yeah, that is how it usually is. All right, so we have a barn burner here. Worcester and Bath.
Fun.
Worcester.
Who do you even have on these teams anymore?
Number one for both of these teams, do not invest in any of these players if you can help it. Really just trying to avoid them. But there's obviously some guys that will be in teams already. So we'll give those players a look. For Worcester, the 2 for sures I will say right now are Batley and Simpson. Both have been good and both have been scoring fairly well, worthy of bench spots at the very least. Another I would consider is Niall Annette. Not a bad scoreline in terms of Hooker versus Bath, and then
Mhm.
also he's actually fairly quality as well. So after that, it's kind of a toss up. Like I have Beck, I'm not playing him. So just keep your eyes on that. For those of you that do have a Worcester player that's worth a damn.
Right.
Pretty much those are the three guys that I would be putting my ears up for. For Bath, it's I'll name three guys, and there's probably a few more that you can throw out there as well. Stewart, Underhill, and Falatau. But again, if you haven't already invested in these guys, don't go buying them. I like Wilmere. I think he'll be okay. Bailey, I struggle with. So if you have him, then yeah, probably going to be okay as long as he's your kicker, obviously. But then after that, I don't like a whole lot else. Miles Reed, that's the other one. Say wait,
Yeah.
Miles Reed would be the other one
good.
to throw in there.
Mhm.
I think Bayless is still hurt, so that's unhelpful
Right.
for a lot of reasons. So yeah, those are the ones that are there. And then again, yeah, just avoid a lot of guys that'll be out there. And everybody's gonna be very tempted to play a lot of these guys. But again, if you don't have them already, don't go buying them just because of this match.
Mhm.
Saying that out loud.
So on to Sale hosting Bristol. This is another one where Sale have things to play for, so they're normal guys like your AJ McGinty's, which is interesting that he's playing Bristol in his last match for Sale.
Last match.
Just
going up against the sideline afterwards.
Going up against his competitor on for time on Bristol now, in Sheedy likely. So, and we've seen what Bristol can do. Sorry, I'm starting with the away team because they're not, in this case, they don't have anything to play for. So the guys you're gonna play are, your Vuis if he's only if he's at lock. Thacker, I mean, don't sign him, but if you got him, yes. Sailor going back to their defensiveness, but Bristol, certainly the Bristol play the way they played against Exeter, that open style. Sale won't be able to really slow them down too much. So the points will still be there. Piatow is obviously a fun play in his final match for the final, if he plays, unless that was his final match last week. Yeah, and on the Sale side, the two of the Dupreezes, Jean-Luc and Dan. The other Dupreezes, no.
Nope.
John or Ross is obviously a yellow card waiting to happen, so no. Bevan Rod is a good play this week, as so is whoever's at hook for Sale. Will be fine. And then basically, well, since McGinty's back, those wings, that back three that we haven't talked about in a while, are back in play. The Aaron Reed, who's the other wing?
Returned the other week.
Roebuck and Luke James. Again, that's still cracking me up. But
not Sam, Luke.
Right. Right. So if you got them, they should be okay to play. Because again, Bristol are going to have it open, which means Sale will have the opportunities.
Yeah, three of those guys will probably take them.
Yeah.
All right, I have for you an Exeter versus Harlequins. So a couple teams that definitely have stuff to play for and don't want to give it up. Because I can promise you the Quins do not want to play whoever is on the top seed, so they're gonna fight like hell to stay in third.
By the way, I saw Baxter take accountability for the team's performance this year.
Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Should have done that a long time ago. Actually, you know what? Quins are playing a dead rubber. I lied.
There's nothing for them.
They're nothing for them. So don't be shocked if we see some unusual names like. Well, I'll talk into Exeter first, but we'll get into that in a second. For Exeter, they are playing for something, so it's going to be Schickerling is okay. I don't have a problem with that. There's not going to be a lot though that I'm loving on this team. The halfbacks have actually all been okay, so I'll give them a go. Whether it's either Wander, it doesn't matter. That's fine.
Right.
Any of the hookers, good to go. I don't have an issue with that. And maybe Woodburn, maybe O'Flaherty.
And Woodburn had his. I think that since I've signed him, I feel like he's had like 3 or so excellent matches, and then like the rest have been kind of bleh. So I think if he had his excellent match against Bristol, he had like 40 points. I'm thinking he comes back down to like 10. This is the time where they just neglect him. They don't give him the ball.
maybe, yeah. So either one of those guys might be okay. After that, there's not a lot of Exeter players I'm going after. And there's none that I'm going after, but the players that there's none that I'm going to be looking to play even if I had them. for the Quins. So, as previously established, they might not be playing for anything, and they might not. So, which means they might be dialing it back a little bit. If that's the case, Tommaso Allen actually is probably an okay play. I can live with that. There's we might see like Will Evans. Will Evans hasn't gotten a ton of playing time. I'll give him a definitive go. I know the name. Hold on. I should have written down a little bit better. Come on. Tiz will probably be in, so I'd give him a go while I'm trying to think of the name. I should have wrote it down better. Tolani, that is also a possibility, a name that you possibly see. And if he's at 8, I'm okay with him. If he's elsewhere, you need ball in hand. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Those are the names that are kind of jumping at me right now in terms of players. Nick David, there's another one. That's a possibility.
Are you really going to sign him for this one?
You won't. But there are a few people that have him apparently. So throw that name out there as well. So
wow.
Yeah.
Talk about holding on to him. I love the guy too, but
yeah, no shit. Well, listen, 28% of people held on to Tyrone Green. So
yeah, I think he's not on my team anymore.
Checking that out there. So yeah, and if it's a normal Bristol, if it's a normal Quins lineup, then I will obviously change all those things come Friday when we do our sheet. But for now, that's it. I do my start of the week is from this game, so we'll see if he plays. So we'll see. Anyway, moving on
to Leicester versus Wasps, where both teams have something to play for. So Leicester have to win in order to hold off Saracens, who are just 3 points behind them. So they again, like what I was saying with Northampton, Leicester have to assume that Sarries are going to get a 5-point win. So one of the assumptions is going to be wrong, but either way, win and it doesn't matter. On the other side, Wasps have 3 points. They're 3 points behind the Irish for Champions Cup, and all they have to do is win.
Yep.
And so that's a big deal. So both these teams are going to be fired up and going at it. For Leicester, it's going to be Genge, and this is the kind of game he lives for, because Wasps' defense are vulnerable. I'm guessing Montoya is going to be back. I don't think we're going to see Dolly again. I haven't seen any report on it, but it did not look good. Yeah, sorry, bud. Wells is an interesting play this week again. He's back on my radar. He dropped off for a while, but I think he's also super cheap, so he might be a guy who you might have on your team through the knockout stages. So someone to maybe look into for this week if you don't have him, or if you dropped him like I did. I'm not really sold on the Tigers back three. Liebenberg, maybe. Visa, you just kind of have to hope he doesn't get a card. He's been good lately, but now that there's going to be serious pressure, you never know. Pressure gets to guys, and he could be a little bit of a hothead, so that could react poorly. It's probably going to be Youngs and Wiggy in the nines, so stay away from them. For Leicester, George Ford he's good. Play him.
Yeah, play that guy.
Yeah, play this man his money. Maroney, if he's at 13, has an excellent matchup. So that unless Fekitoa plays, which he probably will, in which case still play him, because I saw somebody the other week refer to Maroney as a defensive specialist, but dude runs ball in hand really well. He runs an excellent line. So I don't know what they're talking about with defensive specialist.
He's a very good center.
Like he's an attacking specialist to me. So, like, what are you talking about? And then Porter could be good too, especially around that 12 area. Gopperth, although that might have been his last match, so who knows who's going to be at 12 this week.
We'll find out. Yeah.
And then maybe Nadolo, and Freddie Stewart, I think is at this point is a full go for the Wasps. Agre, yes, or basically whoever's at
Frost also, yes. Yeah.
Right. The Locks, Stuke and Launchbird's actually been scoring okay, but I think it's a lot of tackling too, which not that that's a bad thing. But he's not going to go Freddie Clark on you. And then, obviously the flanks, all those loose forwards at Wasps are dangerous right now. I'm kind of holding off on whoever's starting at 9 though. They're not,
Yeah.
it's usually the backup 9 that comes in and makes a huge impact. So that kind of fucks things up. I'd think it would be better play to have the reserve 9 as your reserve 9 than to have the starting 9 as your starting 9. And then it kind of gets mishmashy after that. I hope Umaga is playing at 15. If he is, play him.
Yeah, more useful there.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Gloucester and Ceres. Yeah, wrapping it up. Let's start with the boys from King's Home. Freddie Clark, full go, has barely ever let you down really this year at all. You don't captain him. Everybody's gonna see the last time and try and captain him. Don't captain him, but play him. Absolutely. He's a go. That back three is a little meh for me. A name I want everybody to consider is Charlie Chapman, not Meehan, but Chapman. Meehan I don't like as much fantasy wise, but if you have Chapman, considering that the series do tend to surrender a few points to nines, Ella Davies, I'm looking at you. Yeah, I like Chapman a lot. So give him a play if you have him. I like him a lot. Yeah, as I said, and there's a lot that I don't like about Gloucester's matchups this week. So
yeah.
If you don't have them already, don't
pick them up for this.
Not for this, because even if they do sneak in, there's not going to be as many bodies that you want out of this team.
Right. The one that I'm kind of confident in there is still Lewis Rees-Zammit if he's playing, because that guy can just.
Yeah, you play him for the chance that he just turns into lightning in a bottle and
because he
takes off.
It's a pretty good chance.
Yeah, it seems to be a good odds these days.
Yeah,
not wrong. All right. For the series, a lot of the usual suspects here because they want the one spot. Promise you that. They don't want to play Quins.
Right.
Much as
they'll
do it.
Right.
But so for the usual suspects, Earl, Cock, yes, Atoje, yes, not especially if Atoje's in, I'm not sure I would play Nick Isikwe. Tomo's been great, so give him a go. Baz, yes. Theo, yes. Mako, yes. And then after that, it kind of gets a little Jinx, yes. Billy, if you've bothered to spend the money, you're probably okay. And that's probably where the line stops. Malins, if he's healthy.
Right.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the other one I almost spaced on. Other than that, yeah, leave everybody else. Ella Davies, no. So much no.
Right, no.
So much no.
Big old no.
Why do 9% of you own Ella Davies? I have to know this. I need answers. Yeah, other than that, have a pine. Actually, one other thing. If Shigan's in, not a bad bench. Good bench fodder.
Right. He's actually excellent for the bench because he's one of those guys who could get 5, but could also put up 40.
Yep.
So
as well.
I was it's because we were watching the game. I was talking to my wife about him, and I'm like, this guy has been so inconsistent, and he pisses me off because he's so talented. And then he, of course, had a fucking stormer. So it's that's why I don't like. That's why he's frustrating.
Do that all the time, dude.
Do that all the time, and he doesn't.
Or more often than not, at least.
Right.
All the time is probably not reasonable, but more often than not, please.
Yeah, let's get to there.
Yeah,
then I'll be happy.
I like that line. Okay.
Of the weeks.
OTWs.
So, my start of the week is also from one of my matches, as you said. Okay. And I did mention him, obviously. Going up against Newcastle, they are one of the worst teams against centers. And he's been, of the Saints backline players, this guy has been the most motivated looking. Say what you will about Freeman just being excellent and some of the other guys too, but Rory Hutchinson has been heart on fire, on fire. And so start him. This is a great matchup for him. Newcastle are some of the worst against centers.
Yep, no doubt. All right. So my guy, not entirely sure he plays, but if he does, we're going to go with this because his matchup is very good. Points on both sides of the ball are a possibility here with, we know defensive points will be given to forwards by Exeter, and he's also very capable of picking up his offensive points as well. He's shown that many times in the last few years, probably at this point. So my start of the week is Quins and England back rower Alex Dombrant.
tasty.
Yep. Assuming
That's
plays,
a
like
tasty matchup. Yeah, that's true. For my sit of the week, you mentioned him, and then you kind of mentioned him in like, but in a positive and exactly as I kind of intended this, which is don't captain him. But I'm also going further enough to say he's a bench player for me this week, I think. And that's Freddie Clark is my sit of the week.
Frederick. Yeah, I mean,
Sarries are number one versus locks.
Right. But he just seems to find ways to get points more often than not. That's why I was okay with playing him.
What I've noticed from Freddie Clark is that aside from his last performance, because that was,
awesome.
Right. That was different. He's been excellent in defense for 60 minutes. And then in the last 20 minutes, he just goes on attack. And that's where he's had a chance to see the opposition, figure out where the holes are, and his athleticism gets him through. I don't think he's going to manage that against Sarries. He could still have like 25 points, which is why I say, keep him on your bench. I don't see 40, and there's 40 points out there for locks and flanks. I mean, Theo McFarland is he's almost like he's kind of really reached like Tizard status where it's like kind of almost have to play him if he's on your team. And so what I'm saying is that I would almost take a flyer on a Tizard this week, or I'm sorry, a Theo this week, certainly than I would rate that flipped from normal. Even if he's playing 7 or 6, I'm playing Theo and Clark is on my bench.
Well, it had dividends last time. All right. So my sit of the week, you as well mentioned him, and not a great matchup for him. Love him as a guy and a player, but this is just going to be one really bad week, which potentially could be his last week, which is going to be the last week for his club. My sit of the week is Wasp center Jimmy Gopperth.
Yeah, it's not a
tough old matchup, even with the K. You can't justify it. You really can't.
No, you can't.
It's like, sorry, buddy. Like,
I think,
and that could be his future employer too.
Right. I think he's done. I don't think he's going to play this match. I don't think he wants to do more like what he did last time out. No offense, Jimmy.
I did not watch that, and it sounds like it was a good thing.
He did not look happy after that. So, but of course, he is a competitor, so he might want revenge.
Yep, maybe.
We'll see. I don't think his body has it in him. I'm surprised he's still playing next year, to be perfectly blunt.
He still wants to keep playing, the old man.
Yeah, I mean, don't pay more power to him, but
yeah. All right, let's get into this pick them thing.
Picking of them.
So the Premiership in the final weekend, Northampton and Newcastle. Well, I don't see how the Saints lose this. So yeah, Worcester and Bath. I'm gonna go with Bath. Yeah,
Bath have been playing hard.
Very good for them.
Yeah,
they're way better. Sale and Bristol. Sale. I hate it, but Sale. I really do.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much as I used to, but still, Sale.
Yeah. Exeter and Quins. I'm guessing that nobody worth a damn from Quins plays, so I'm going to pick Exeter.
Yeah, me too.
Leicester and Wasps.
You know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm flipping that. I'm still going with Quins because I don't think Chiefs are very good. Yeah, I don't think Chiefs are good enough because I think even if you put out Tommy Allen or Edwards at 10, that there'll be enough there. I think there'll be enough there from Quins, and it'll be who's their backup 9?
Steele. Or Jaltama.
Jaltama. That's it. It'll be Jaltama, and I think there's a ton of the young talent there that'll show up.
Leicester Wasp. Leicester. The Leicestermen.
No, because that would be stupid to say draw, because I'll almost definitely lose. I don't want to do that, but I also want this match to draw because that would be hilarious.
Would be funny.
Actually, I wonder if this match drew with both teams getting a bonus point, how would that affect?
I think fucking screw a lot of people up.
I think Wasps would still win, or go to the whatever.
They would because they would have 11
points,
wins.
right?
So
yeah,
they'd have 11 wins, so they'd still get there.
I'm rooting for a draw here, but I think Leicester win. I think they're going to rock up and
Yeah, because they don't want
business.
to play Quins either.
No, nobody does.
Series Gloucester, Series.
Or
I know Gloucester's at home. Sorry, but still. Yeah, I'm going Saracens. All right, Super Rugby playoffs. Woohoo! Crusaders and Reds, same result as last Friday.
Yeah, no question.
Otherwise,
nope.
Chiefs and Waratahs.
We just saw that too, didn't we?
No, a few weeks ago, but yeah.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yep. Blues Highlanders. I'm taking the Blues.
Blues.
They're rested and now they're good to go. Brumbies Hurricanes. I'm taking my Canes.
I am too. I think this is an Aotearoa competition after this week.
Yeah, which is going to annoy every Australian person.
which honestly, while I will be annoyed by that as well, Australians' frustration about it will amuse me to the point where I'm okay with it.
Oopsie. Sorry, guys. Not sorry.
Yeah, nothing personal, Australia. It's just that's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Too
funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. All right. Cool.
Now the Simpsons Australia isn't going through my head. I'm trying to figure out which line to use from that, but I'll just mention that it's hilarious. I love Australians, but they're too easy sometimes.
Yeah, you guys are making it too easy on me.
Right.
So we have a big weekend for both comps. Plus. We have MLR, obviously MLR closing weekend.
Right.
Results to be do have some bearing in some of those games, and then we have Friday. We're going to be tuning into Six Ways and seeing what goes down with Exeter and Series, like it's friggin' 3 years ago, except it's the women now. So with lots of Eagles participating in this match as well.
Yeah, to the point where they're talking about, oh wait, we need to make sure that there's enough British players. It's like, hey, sorry, there's
leave us alone.
There's good Americans, and they don't have a professional league here, so this is what they have to do. So right, and just because they're stomping your girls' asses.
Yeah, I still hope the Series win, despite all the girls on the other side that are American. We still have a few. We have a few. We have Lottie, we have Alev, we have Charlie. We want that.
Yeah.
Go on, Series. All right. So everybody, lots of big rugby this weekend. And sit back, enjoy, have a good one. We will catch you guys next week. We appreciate you all for hanging out with us and listening to us babble for a little while. Have a good one, everyone.
Later.
Good.